Now, I'm sure there are going to be the people out there that are going to say things like, well, you really have no reason to be highlighting this map. It's quote-unquote old in the grand scheme of mods, in the grand scheme of the game. You know, people have already seen it, this, that, and the other. Why are you showing it? Hello and welcome back to SnowRunner, y'all. And in this video, we're going to be diving into a map that hasn't really seen any updates in basically 2 years. However, it's actually all of a sudden trending again on the mod browser, with recently seeing over 2,000 downloads in the period of just a single day, and its momentum shows no signs of stopping anytime soon. Now, the map in question is TNB Trails, and in terms of updates, this map has not seen any updates from its creator in, like I said, around 2 years. However, that has not stopped it from really overtaking some mods that are a lot newer. And there's definitely a few different reasons why this could be, but we're going to dive into some of the different reasons here and there and just see what happens as we go through this map with some vehicles that y'all may or may not be familiar with. Now, the vehicle on the left is a brand new console-friendly Toyota Land Cruiser mod called Yoda's Earth Roamer, which is console-friendly and should be available just about everywhere so long as it is approved. However, this truck right here, the GMC, is PC only. However, if you own SnowRunner on PC, there'll be a link in the description box down below to where you can check more information out about that thing. So let's fire up this Land Cruiser and just talk a little bit about this map, its history within this game, and why I think it's seeing a resurgence in terms of popularity. So let's go ahead and fire it up and get on out on some trails. And also, I don't know why, but this thing has quite a loud startup noise. It's like either the starter itself is really loud, or maybe it's just something about the way the volume of this thing interacts with the rest of the volume in the game. I don't know. Either way, what I find so incredibly interesting about this map seeing a comeback is a couple of different things. So this map was extremely popular within the first year or so of the game, year and a half of the game, and it never really lost any of that popularity. However, what it did lose for a while was some of its momentum in terms of consistent downloads. Now, what I find really cool, though, about the fact that this map is seeing a resurgence is that it highlights something very specific, and that is the fact that this map never actually got updated for next-gen consoles. So even though this map is only available on PC and prior generation consoles, that's like PS4, Xbox One, this map is not on Switch, it's not on next-gen consoles, it's not on anything like that, and it is still beating out maps and vehicles that have next-gen files, that have all of these different things, and this map is still crushing download numbers, which is honestly, in a couple of ways, it's, for one, it's a testament to really how a map can stay so it can stay at the forefront of a community even without getting consistent updates if it's just that insanely good of a map. But it can also show that I think some of these maps are really timeless in the way they're designed and put together. Now, another thing that I think it also shows is that the player base on prior gen consoles is potentially one of the largest player bases that this game has, which also leads me into why I think that's why the next game, or rather the spin-off, Expeditions, a MudRunner game, is probably still, like, that's probably one of the reasons why it's also being planned on a previous gen release. Now, one of the things about that, though, that I want to kind of highlight is that this is not to say that anybody is wrong or bad in any way for, you know, still being on a prior gen console. I completely understand if maybe upgrading to a newer console right now is not a not a logistically smart choice for whatever reason. You know, maybe that's just the console you have. Maybe a new console is just out of your budget right now. Maybe there's a whole list of factors that could say why someone may not have moved to a next-gen console yet. However, again, I think it proves that one of the most active player bases for SnowRunner still is on the prior generation consoles, those being Xbox One and PS4. Also, I think we might have brought we might be a little under-equipped for this trail. We're gonna have to take some very creative lines because we don't really have the approach angle. It's not that this thing is bad in any way. I mean, this thing is sick in terms of capability, but like, we're running a stock body right now, which probably wasn't my wisest decision, especially in terms of going to a place like this. So I think what we might do at this point is we may switch vehicles and continue our conversation in that. Now, I'm sure there are going to be the people out there that are going to say things like, well, you really have no reason to be highlighting this map. It's quote-unquote old in the grand scheme of mods, in the grand scheme of the game. You know, people have already seen it, this, that, and the other. Why are you showing it? And here's the thing. While I am sure that a lot of the people that watch my channel regularly will know exactly what map this is and why it's a great map, there are so many people downloading this map now, seemingly for the first time, that there have got to be people out there that have never experimented with this place before, that have never taken long drives out here before. And because of that, you know, you might not be aware of how massive this place actually is. There are actual miles, like miles and miles and miles of trails to explore on this map, whether that is with or without a group of your friends. Although I will say, if you get out on this map with a group of your friends, you can easily be out here for hours on end. And especially if you just like set some time aside to just like pick a trail system, everybody throws their trucks in low, and you just have a simulated like trail ride slash overland day slash like expedition. There are so many potential like gameplay opportunities for really any level of truck. I mean, I know that right now we're using something that is extremely capable, but you can go all the way from trails on this map that are good for vanilla vehicles, all the way up to trails that you'll probably need a rock bouncer for. And I think that's also part of the magic of what makes this map so great and so legendary, that it can continue to have like, you know, 1,000 to 2,000 freaking downloads a day, you know, 2 years after its last update, and without even being available on next-gen consoles. And as much as I would like to see this map get updated for next-gen consoles, I do believe that this map's creator, Pixel Monkey, has officially moved on from SnowRunner as a game and mostly creates for BeamNG now. And while I am sad that that is the case, I completely understand why someone might make the move from, say, for example, a game like SnowRunner over to BeamNG, because BeamNG gives you a lot more creative control and a lot higher of a ceiling in terms of what you as a creator, especially a map maker, can create. Now, let's see what we can do on this steep climb, because this climb is gnarly. This climb has allowed me to find the limit of several vehicles in the past. Oh, come on! First try? Are you serious? That's nuts. That is absolutely wild that this thing did that first try. We're not even running like a crazy engine setup. We're running like just a mid-tier engine setup and an off-road gearbox. I will say the off-road gearbox probably helps a lot with it because you get the really, really low gear ratios. But even so, that is really impressive. Now, before we wrap up this video, I do want to answer one more question, because I'm sure that it will be on the minds of players on previous gen consoles that haven't tried this map yet, or maybe just picked up the game and don't know if they want to get it or not, because space is a concern on really all consoles when it comes to modding this game, but especially on prior generation consoles, because those are the ones that are the most space limited besides the Switch. Now, I will tell you right out of the gate that this is absolutely worth your hard drive space. However, if you need more of a, more of a reason behind it, the reason why I think you should absolutely give this map your hard drive space, and why it's almost worth uninstalling some other mods, even if it's just to give this map a try, and even if you don't like it, you can uninstall it later, and then you can reinstall the other mods that you installed to make room for this. But like, it is so worth it if you have never tried a map like this before, and especially if you've never played games like the original Spin Tires or Mud Runner. This map is very reminiscent of the maps that we used to see back in those games because this map is essentially a continuation of the attitude and the style that those games had when it came to their map making and a lot of the maps that were made throughout the modding community. Now, real quick, while we stop talking about that for a second, let's see if we can make it across this sketchy bridge the first time. Oh, what? We almost had it and then we slipped. All right, hold on. We're gonna make... No! Oh, now we're just board sliding. No! I'd really rather not board slide my, my GMC. It's kind of outside the realm of what I planned on doing today. All right, hold on. Come on. Give it a little bit of reverse. Now, this is what happens when SnowRunner physics break. This is not the fault of the map whatsoever. This can happen on stock maps with stock trucks. It just all depends on where you're at and what you're trying to do. And hats off to you if you're able to make it across this bridge without having something like this happen, because this is extremely common on obstacles like this in this game. So let's see if I can just pull it off of the bridge in general, or if we're like fused to the bridge for eternity, which I don't know, we might be. Yeah, I think we might be. I think we might be. Well, this was fun. This was a grand time, and, you know, this is really the only bad thing about this map. If you're looking for, like, a negative point about TNB Trails and why maybe you shouldn't download it, I mean, here's the only one, and it's really, like, a tiny reason, because at the end of the day, all you gotta do is do this and, you know, run back to the garage, and then you can start your next adventure, or if you're frustrated and don't want to take that trail again, I completely understand why. But if y'all enjoyed this video and this look back at one of what I think is one of the best trail riding maps that was ever made for this game, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, and I will see y'all next time.